That's the problem is you really have to understand how to run these businesses. And you really, to me, have to be day to day and hands on. Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer, and I want to talk about something that has been on my mind a little bit, and because I think it's a great opportunity. However, a lot of people are trying to do this, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get caught and going to really just not do well, and that is buying businesses. And so there's a big push, and there's a lot of gurus out there right now that have programs so you can go and figure out how to buy a business and how to look for them and buy them. And the whole premise is, the whole idea is that there's a ton of baby boomers that are looking to retire and sell their businesses. So there's going to be this ample amount of opportunity for people to come in and buy these businesses from these retirees, these people that are looking to be done. You know, you got this big wave of baby boomers, and certainly they don't want to own a business forever. And while that is true, I know couple business brokers, and I actually had one of them on, Manoj Moorjani. He was on not that long ago. Listen to that episode, very good episode with Manoj. And while there's a lot of opportunity, the market is definitely a seller's market right now. There's a lot of buyers. There's more buyers than there are sellers. These baby boomers have not been offloading their businesses the way that people expect. And the ones that are, there's just so much competition that the prices are going for way higher than what they've ever gone for before. And so, most of these businesses are sold on EBITDA, and the ratios are just much lower than before. So, with real estate, if you're familiar with real estate, a lot of deals sell on cap rate, based on the net operating income. And it would be, very similar to when we say there's a lot of cap rate compression, right? And that's what's happening with these businesses. So here's why I think you got to be really careful. There's a guy I know, he's buying a lot of businesses. He's actually syndicating these businesses, and thinks he's doing a really good thing by doing that. And while he might be, if he's got the system set up and he really understands what he's doing, that's the problem, is you really have to understand how to run these businesses. And you really, to me, have to be day to day and hands on. So real estate is fairly easy to do a little bit more passively. And now I want to make sure I clarify that, because a successful real estate syndication, if we're going to buy a 200 unit building, to be successful, we still have to manage it. We still have to do a good job. We've been bringing all of our management in-house for a reason, so we can really do a much better job with these properties. But a 300 unit apartment building, look, if I got a 200 unit apartment building, I've got a total of about 4 employees. Okay, maybe 5. I've got maintenance. I've got probably 2 maintenance people, and I've got 2 leasing people, 2 people in the office, and that's about it. Where a business the same size, I've probably got at least a dozen people, maybe more. I've got, assisted living. I own assisted living buildings. We own about 400 beds of assisted living, and we've got about 300 employees. And so those are employees that range from, our regional manager to our admin staff, to our bookkeeper, to our billing department, to nurses, CNAs, LPNs, to just care specialists that are on site. So we've got a ton of employees for 400 beds of assisted living. Now, that's a business. It's not passive at all. And you have to make sure you're spending time and focused energy and have a partner or do it yourself that's going to be in the business. And that's where I think people are going to get in trouble. While it's exciting to have this opportunity, and while the returns, quite frankly, are very attractive. I've looked at these deals. I don't know if you're listening to this, if you've looked at purchasing businesses and are excited about it, the returns look very attractive, and they can be. You can literally invest, a few $100,000, maybe even less in some cases, because the seller's willing to finance some of it. So you can get an SBA loan. You can get the seller to finance some of it. You can end up with just like a 10% down payment, maybe even less. Sometimes you can end up with 5% or even 0%. And you can make great returns. The problem is you have to be focused in the business 99% of the time. Now, you might be able to transition yourself out of the business as it grows, as you strengthen it, as you make sure you get the right people in it, but you have to be willing to put the time and the effort into it. If you can't do it, you're going to get caught. And I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of people is they're going to get excited, see this business. They think they're going to buy this business. It's going to be passive, and they're just going to allow it to operate smoothly. And when it doesn't operate smoothly, they don't have the time or the expertise to actually fix the problems that are going on. And that's where they're going to get in trouble. And that's when, quite frankly, the real opportunities are probably going to follow this wave. And in my opinion, the best opportunity to buy a business is probably going to follow this kind of frenzy, this wave that's happening right now. And so we're talking like 2 to 5 years from now, there might be a pretty good opportunity for you to come in. You can buy a deeply discounted business, but you're going to have to have a problem on your hands because you probably got a business that's not operating quite to snuff, right? It hasn't ran really well. You had an absentee owner and you're trying to fix something up. So you're going to have to be a value add specialist now in the business. But if you're thinking about where do you put your money? Where do you invest? How do you do this? Multifamily and commercial real estate in general has just kind of been beat up over the last couple of years. Maybe you're not excited about it. Maybe you've gotten beat up in the market and you're going, where do I go next? Where do I focus? First of all, I would be careful about trying to get too distracted. But if you're dead set on finding another avenue and you want to really, really focus on buying a business, I just think you need to really pay attention to how people are successful owning and operating businesses. And if you do that, you'll understand that it's about setting up the systems and processes, right? It's about managing the day-to-day. It's about having good people that work for you. It's about you being an excellent leader. How did we turn around our assisted living? Look, we had these assisted living properties that are doing really, really poorly. How did we turn it around? My business partner in particular spent a lot of time at the properties, spent a lot of time managing the leadership staff and really being a good leader to the leadership team and training them properly and hiring the right ones. I spent a lot of time and energy doing that. And we spent a lot of money doing that to be able to get it to turn around, to go in the right direction to where now we're successful. So just don't be too excited about the numbers. If you're going to go with this industry, I think it's a great path for a lot of people, but I think it's the wrong path for, unfortunately, a lot of people as well. So that's all I got to say about that. There's a lot of opportunity out there. You just got to find the right fit for you and then take the right action that fits for, what you're really, truly looking to achieve. That's all I got. Todd Dexheimer signing off. You have a fantastic rest of the day. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to VentureD.com venturedproperties.com, venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.